and we are live with the next session. It is the World Chess Championship 2024, Ding versus Gukesh, and the course is by International Master Andras Toth. And Andras is in Singapore by himself, and he is basically teaching us using the current games that are played. He is like choosing situations where he says, well, this is interesting in some way, and he presents us positions and we have to solve it. That way we learn way more than by just watching a stream by some service and basically by just being entertained. This here is tough work. And yeah, Chessable is doing a great job helping us, of course. I mean, it's a lot of material by now. We are in game 12, and we have to do review sessions when we got the positions wrong in the first or second or third try. And then Chessable just yeah, gives us these positions that we had wrong again, so we can really internalize, not only memorize, but also understand why has this been played and what was the solution. It's called the spaced repetition within their MoveTrainer system. So yeah, with that given, we can just Tawakam is already here. Nice. Okay, sorry that it took so long, but I'm really happy that you're here, and we'll make it alrighty. So with that, we just take a short look. We by now have 3 hours 42 minutes video, because Andras is always giving us his video recap, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, where of course we what's the word again? We see the positions that we earlier on had to solve, and that way we understand the game and the explanations way better than before, and in a way deeper level, of course. Okay, so with that, yeah, it's a free course by Chessable, and I think with that we can just go right ahead. We always start with the review from the last sessions, from the last games. So we click on review, and then before we go to game 12, you see that, oh, 6 new, okay. So he put in new variations for other games. Oh, let's see if we are going to do this. I say we do it like normal, and then we are checking into the new ones that he added. 6 new variations added in the last 7 days in this level. Phew, so he found something in the games that he just added to it. Oh, this is probably an extra session. Yeah, we'll see. Let's go. And thank you, Andras, for putting in that great work, of course. Okay, so we click on review and start. So you see we have 23 positions for review, and those are all from games that we already covered, so they should be understood, and you should be able to explain the tactical motives, the positional ideas. Otherwise you just watch it and forget it again and cannot use it for your own games. Okay, this is from game number 5. Would have allowed the Indian challenger to play for the initiative. How? And here it was with the knight to e5. Then we retake. And here we have the knight now. And here we simply just kept on walking with the pawn. I forgot the in-between move. It was double R. I was trying to do this too quick, so we can just go to game number 12 again. But of course, we had 2 attackers on the pawn and only the rook defending the pawn. So first we basically had to play the f3 knight. Yeah. Here comes the big but, and that is, if we would have moved it forward, it wouldn't have been attacked twice, because it changed the position. So I don't know if you, Tarakam, remembered this from last time, But I'm going to check what's happening if we don't play the knight move later on. But I know it's the knight move, and then we play this, and then we take. Okay, so but now I really like to check what is the situation with the engine if we just move the pawn now. Okay, as you can see here, we have the same position as before. The score is 0.46 and the given is knight f3. So what happens if we take this one? It immediately goes to the advantage of black, and this f takes e6. Okay, got it. And if we take the rook now, e6, it is knight b6. Knight b6. Okay, and here we now have an attacked rook. And it is back rook to e1. So my question here, of course, is why is this so much worse than bringing in this one here first? Now it's h5. Now it is the pawn move. Now it is taking, and now it is the rook. It is because the rook now is not attacked immediately. I think that's it. But if I go back again, what happens if he decides? So if we go here right away, just winning. Okay. But this is still strange. Okay, hold on. Still again, move order. So here I go here right away. He goes here. Hold on, still. Oh, this is a strange start into the session, but I really need to do this to understand. Okay, so we have this one, and instead of bringing the knight to f3, we just push this one here. Again, it is f takes e6. We take, and now he goes out of the way, attacking this one here. And here rook e1, etc. So I'm probably going to ask Barland about this one. Can anybody in chat just let us know? I don't know what's the difference here now. Maybe I'm not seeing it at all. But again, I will just go for the correct solution to see what's the difference. Here. Knight h5. This one. And here he takes right away. Okay, this is kind of really strange because I thought I understood it before, but now it doesn't make sense to me. Why is this one being played? The knight to f3. It's a question I'm going to ask Barland later on. Okay, we just move on with the course here. And it is completed. Okay, and we are going to review number 22. Sometimes if I take a look in this direction, it is about the chat. I see the chat on my second monitor here and watch the current situation on the screen here. Okay, so an interesting alternative, denying black from creating a pawn chain. It is out of game 7, and let me check what it was. It was the following. Hold on. It is giving up a pawn for getting a pawn for compensation and a better position. So the thing is here to play e5, I think, and he takes. Yes, was it? Hold on. Yes, it was. Okay, so I just go e5 here. Now I take the queen, and he has to take my queen with his rook, which frees the e4 bishop for my attack. Here we go. Yes, and black is a pawn to the good. Yes. So pawn exchanges, but better position. Allows us to demonstrate an idea associated with nim switch. Time to demonstrate that you do know the classics. Okay, so here we have to take the knight first. And then you go to e8. Correct? Because the rook is now attacked. And then you have to stop the bishop and the pawn on the h1, a8 diagonal. And you do this by placing the knight here. That is also correct and totally okay. So we go to the next variation, and it is game 8, Ding Liren versus Gukesh again. Ding is white. This is a seemingly illogical move, but has a lovely refutation, netting black a pawn. Can you spot it? Okay. Yes, I know how to do this, and it is simply a simple move. It is first attacking the rook, or was it first taking the c4? I think it is taking the. Hold on. How was it done? I think it was already taking, yes, it was taking this here. First the pawn move, that's my other move that I had. Okay, so where is he going? Here, he retreats. Ah, I'm so bad. Yes, correct. I need that because now if I take here, I can take with the queen, he takes the bishop, and I fork the king and the bishop. Yes, it was the pawn move because it wouldn't work if the rook would have stayed on e4 instead of going to e3. My bad, and we continue. Okay, this was a very interesting alternative. Can you find the best moves for white in this line? Yes, I can. This was a super duper combination, as Andras Toth said. It is take here. Now the queen got this one. And now I do the following. I take the bishop on b7, also attacking the bishop on e7. Okay, and now he attacks my rook. And I say I don't care. I just take this one. And now I have the knight move attacking the queen. Now he says, I'm going to attack your rook. I refute this with the bishop move. Too early. I did this yesterday also wrong. First I have the in-between check here. And afterwards I can play the bishop. Move order, Jan, move order. Okay. This one. Okay, and now we need to find the final move, and that is taking the rook on a8. And we are good. And white is ever so slightly better after mandatory recapture. This line is a beautiful demonstration of the fact that even dry-looking positions can easily get spicy and the players need to remain alert to these possibilities. Okay, so we are good with that one and we'll continue. This ambitious move does not work here. Can you see why? Yes, I can. Because we have 3 attackers on the pawn and we need to get rid of the bishop. And we just did that. And now he has 2 defenders and we have 3 attackers. And now I think it is time to take. Or was it first to... No, if we defend this pawn here, we'll just lose the chance to attack because we have the rook to d4 then. Am I missing something? I'm always checking the chat just to see if there are some answers already. So I'm just going to take. I take with the pawn. Correct. Now the queen move had been done. And now what now? Yes, now I get it, I think. I think it is the knight to e5. No, it's not. Can't be it. So did I really forget again? It looks like I did. What is now the next move? Will join you for game 12. Want to do the annotation of a classic game I just played as long as my memory is so fresh. Yes, Tower Come, that's always so important. And yeah, take your time. And if you tune in from time to time, you'll see when we're at move 12. Okay, so I don't have to check all the time. Okay, and good luck, of course, for the annotation. I know how hard it is. It is really sweat work. And I hope you won your game, of course. Okay, so what are we going to do here now? What was it? I have no clue, and it doesn't come to my mind. Crazy. I really don't know anymore. with the sensational position where white has a massive center and bishop pair to boot. Okay. Just the bishop move. Okay. Okay, continue the previous line. We are now going to examine how such dynamic advantages often lead to direct assaults. What would you play here? Here I would play the... I would take the knight for a possible pin with the bishop. Incorrect again. Immediately the pin. He takes, I take. Oh. Help. Help. I cannot say anything else. Yes. Maybe it's too late, but from now on I really need to concentrate. We drink something and then we start again. Okay, here we are. So next we take with the queen. And now we can take this one. Again, too fast. It was the in-between move, because otherwise the bishop is not protected on d3. Okay. Just want to get over with this, I think. But now it just doesn't stop. What to do now? What to play now? It was a super mating situation. Yes, I think it was this one. One move later. Ding, ding, ding. First take, he retakes, and then the queen move. Yes, okay. So this just goes out of the way, and then we continue. Okay, this is from game 10, and it reminded Andras Toth how to play these kind of things. So it was taking the knight, the rook, and then moving the king over, and that was the first phase. So we needed to push the enemy's king to this side to then just keep on attacking. Okay, so next variation. And how did we do this here now? I think it was playing g5. So this is a lot of thinking about the pawn situations. And I think it was g5. We'll see if it was. Nope, it was e5. Start with e5. Okay. e5. And now he needed to do this, and we continued by playing that one. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're here. It looks really interesting. And here we have to think, of course, how can we now get through? Okay, and yes, it was going here. I try to do the reviews like really fast, and it seems I cannot do them really fast. I remember kind of, but I don't do the calculation, and then I'm wrong. My fault. Please accept my apologies here. Okay, so this now needs to be blocked, otherwise we are okay. So Shall I just go here, like f4, or take? If I take, then we are kind of okay. So I still think it's necessary to go here because we can take anyway. Go here and then. So difficult. So if you're in chat and have an idea, just go, of course. So otherwise, I just make a move. And my move here would be to just push this pawn here. It's an alternative. Okay, if it's an alternative, I take. That was okay. Alternative in chessable means it's an equal good move, but they need one move that is correct for the software. Okay. So as we now got this one correct, I just bring up this pawn. Now I need to get over the king to get the e4 pawn. And we're doing this by attacking here, take, and then we are good to run through. Okay. So nice. Okay. We are at the next position, and this is out of game number 9. We are still at the reviews. We have 14 reviews to go before we start with game 12. This is a very logical move here, although d takes c4 and d takes e4 are reasonably close in terms of value. Which one would you prefer and why? I would prefer the move to take c4, because if he retakes, we can just go c5, and then we have this wonderful pawn to attack with the bishop and the knight. And if he goes to e5 attacking our knight, we can just go on d5 and having an attack on the bishop, which brings us in a better position. So we just start playing. This is correct, and this one now, and we're good. Okay. 13 more to go. Might seem like a logical follow-up, but this is a slight inaccuracy. In a strategical sense, a mistake. Even how would you even react? Okay, it's out of game number 11 from yesterday. And those are usually the hardest ones because I did them yesterday without any reviews. So we are just going to go through it. And what is the idea here? Queen to a5 looks interesting. Attacking the pawn right away. And he cannot defend it. But if we play that, he could simply take our pawn on ed4 and having his pawn on c5 protected. So I think it is first take the knight or the pawn on e3. Yes, that's what I'm going to play. Let's see if this works. I don't think it works because he still can bring the pawn, but then we can take there. So I just think that's correct. Let's go. Okay, the most logical developing, I forgot about development. The most logical developing move. The reason I added an exclamation is to emphasize the point. NC6 is great now, since white no longer has the option of playing b4, b5. b4, b5. Hmm? That is why it is so important to keep the pawn in b4 and not give to the temptation of the capture. Okay, so basically it's for bringing out the knight to that square. Okay, get it? Now, I try again with the take, but then my knight is, of course, um, well, the bishop can take the knight, and we just see how that goes. So I just take, and again, incorrect. I need to protect. But if he takes this one, well, it doesn't work. Okay. And it is all about center control and developing your pieces. I really have to remind me every time of it. Here it is now. This one, I think. Also, again, it is. I don't know. Everything is bad. Like, really, every single one. After a subsequent bishop takes c5, black is going to have the upper hand. But why is it the it's double? Okay. Yes, I got it. Okay. Amazing. Need to remember that for tomorrow, of course. So, perhaps the most interesting point in the opening, Gukesh now has many valid ideas to pick from. Also, game 11, he hastily played d3. But there was a better and more fun way to play here. Can you spot it? Okay. We have two moves here, and one is bishop b2, and the other one is a bishop move from f1. But wait, I think c5 had been played just for making room for the bishop to b5. I think that was it. Let's see. It's correct. Okay. I got one correct. Yes. Okay. So, and now is it the check or is it the c4? Because if I go b5, he can just go in there with the knight to c6 and is good and also developed. So I just, well, but it doesn't matter. I mean, also if I go with the bishop to another square, I just try. correct. Okay. And now I don't know. So maybe we just go back one step and bring the pawn up. Nope. Okay. First blocking it. Played that one. And now, now I get it. And yeah. Here he attacks the pawn structure. And the only way to keep it intact is playing the bishop here. An awesome move that shields the a file pin and introduces a new threat with b4, b5. No matter how black responds, white stands better. Okay, because if he takes, we retake, and our bishop is still protected. He cannot take with a knight because he is still pinned. Okay, so next variation. Okay. Tempting but wrong. White is now required to play energetic and aggressive chess to prove this wrong. Your move. I think I get it. I think it was queen e4, attacking the pawn on b7. He has to react with a rook to protect it, and then we can attack the knight on e5 with the pawn. He needs to go away because knights that are protecting each other are not the best moves. So we see if that works. This is correct. And now we go here. Also correct. And now we need to find what are we going to do here. If we take was there an in-between move? It's so interesting if you remember the start correctly and then can't make it the rest of it. So yes, to be safe, I take the knight on c1, and then he has to jump out of the way with the knight, and then I can take the other pawn. I believe that's correct. Incorrect. A brilliant intermezzo, interesting one that also played a major role in the game. And the reason for that was which one? Okay. he played here, and now this is the key capture. The brain of the puzzle is your next exercise. It will come and then we find out. But still very strange to me. Did this yesterday. Try to remember, and maybe it's really too late at night, but I should remember these. I don't. Okay, so we are right in the next puzzle. So he goes here, attacking my rook, and the only way to go, sorry, is really a2, and it's incorrect. So we have the checkmate, well, not a checkmate threat, but a super important move, lining up the threads against f7 and also b8. Yes, because if we play the pawn to e6, the rook is automatically attacked. Okay, so we do that again. It was this one, sorry, my fault. Okay, here he takes, and now we go with the pawn. And now we take with the queen. Or is it too early? Got it. And now we have a lovely checkmate because we can take the bishop. Yes, and the rook. Checkmate. Okay, my fault. Okay. So we continue and we are having the with 15 g6 g6. Ding falls for the temptation of the h5 bishop h6 plan. However, he had a better and more natural way to play. What's your take? The same position, just turned around. Okay. Okay, I think it was just e6. Normal way to develop your bishop and keeping your king pawns intact. But was it a knight move? I don't think so. We see queen maybe somewhere. If I get my queen out of the way, like to d7, the pawn on d3 is under double attack by the knights. So I see I do this one. And it was correct. As I said in the earlier patterns, normal development. Just play normal moves, nothing fancy. Okay, as I did this now, I think I can just start to double attack the queen. Yes, correct. And now as he played this, I can just castle. And now finally we can take the pawn. But if we take the pawn, he can, no he cannot, well he can respond with the bishop to e4. And we have a checkmate threat on h7 and a double attack on my new knight on d3. So was there some way of refutation? I would probably just keep on attacking the queen. It's an alternative move, which means I found a move that is a great solution. It would work, but it's not the solution that chessable requires technically. There only one works. So I got that one correct, and now I will just take and see what happens. Incorrect, and it was this one. Hard to find. And now the threat of ng6, followed by f4, is very challenging to dog. Well, if we go knight g6, where does the queen have to go? Nope, nope, nope. Yes, it could go to this one and this one. Well, I understand. Okay. But tough to find. Really hard for me. Okay, only 8 more reviews to go, and we'll make it. We'll make it. Ah, Martinilla, I just saw it now. Oh, hey, hope your stream is going awesome. I guess you're not reading chats or my headset isn't working. But I was saying that I want to help you out with streaming and stuff because I think with the potential for streaming, I'm just missing some basic initial. Okay, the first thing we'll see before joining the stream is your logo. So I'll help you with these. Ah, yeah. Martinilla, just write me a private message on, or I send you a whisper, or send me a whisper on Twitch, and we get in touch. I think that would be all right. Okay. So, yeah, we just continue. Knight takes d5, and now, can you demonstrate how white obtains an edge now? White can take the pawn here, And now we are attacking the bishop. Incorrect. Oh, and again, it's the third time in a row that I overlook this. My, oh my. Okay. The rook is attacked. The king cannot go in the way. It has to go here. And then I can take it. The queen, and then there was something. What was it? Yes, and if the queen takes, I can just take the knight. That was the solution here. My bad. And white is winning in exchange. 15 rook e8 loses the knight on d5 after 16 rook e8. Okay, my bad. Review number 7. Can you drop your Instagram and Discord username and chat? No. I'm going to send a whisper if I can do this here. Hold on. Manila. Whisper. Got it. And you have turned on block whispers from strangers, so I'm not going to reach you. Sorry for that. Okay, so it looks very tempting, but it turns out that black's defensive resources are not to be underestimated. Can we take d5 now? And here it was, yes, we can. We take it. And then, of course, our knight is attacked but protected, and we need to go out of the way with the knight here because it is double attacked. Our rook would be protected. Hold on. So, hey, thank you, Tobex. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the follow, I think. Yes, really nice. Thank you. Add me up on Discord, Tobex10. Yes, I will after the stream. Thank you. Alrighty. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So let's continue here. So we finally get into game 12. And here I know it is getting out of the way. My rook is protected by the knight on f8. That is fine. So he goes here. And if he just takes, I don't care. Because I protect it with... No, not with this one. I just go out of the way. I just go out of the way and attack the bishop. And black holds the fort. White has no way to break in. A sensational line. Okay. So we continue and we have the following. In this position, Ding dropped the ball with king e5, allowing the Indian challenger considerable winning chances. How should he have defended instead? Okay, so yes, it was with a knight to c8. Correct. Now we are going to attack the pawn. Also correct. And now we are having the free c file. That's it. Okay. Very interesting. But it changed really the position to the better for us. Good to have it. Okay, and we are in game 8. Ding is white. And now comes the fantastic concept. Can you spot it? Yes, I can. And it was super amazing and I had no clue how to find it. So basically here it is just with taking. So we are going here. He attacks the knight. We are going here. The knight is gone. We are going here. And this looks kind of... but we have rook to f6. And with rook to f6, we have another great move that is just taking the bishop, and if he takes, we have the pin. Yes, it was correct. So only 4 more to go, we'll make it. Can you spot what is wrong with this move? What had been played? The bishop c5 to b6. Okay, black to play. And here I see immediately that we have the fork on c4. And as Balint said, make that your dream come true. So what do you need to have it there without the rook attacking it? It is just attacking the rook and threatening to promote. He has to go there, and now we have the fork. Yes, that was the move necessary. Okay, let's go. So this move allows white a neat finish. Can you spot it? What was played? c5 to d4. And now we are white and need to play. And this is rather easy also because we can just play knight to c8, forking the queen and the bishop, and that will lose material because if he takes on c8, I just take with my rook and we have a back rank checkmate. Yes, he did this, and now we have to find a way. What was this one? It's never a one move situation. Okay, so yeah, I just take with a check, and if he takes with the queen, I can take the rook. Yes, done. Okay, next variation, only 2 more to go. Finally. White has a huge attack against the black king. How would you conduct the final phase? I'll start as we just had the session with Balint, International Master Balint. We just give him a check here, and now he has the retreat square on e6. So we need to refute that. We play this one. And now we have the mating sequence with this one. And finally, that's why we needed to have the pawn here, just to bring it up. It's good. Okay. So black's last move was definitely an unfortunate call, allowing white to carry out his dangerous plan. How would you proceed? Yes, this one was the one with the chase for the bishop. And the bishop on c2 has an escape square on f5. So we need to refute this. Yes, again. And now we just have to attack the bishop. And now we have to attack the knight, and that is done with. Oh, yeah, I always have the trouble. Is it with the knight to e2 or is it with the bishop to f2? It is with the knight first. Incorrect. And that means I didn't understand why it was the knight move, and we just try to find that out a little later. So we first go here. Now we need to double attack it, and now we can take the bishop. Okay, so let's see why. Knight takes d4, and here we have bishop f2, and it is not explained why bishop f2. because here we have the bishop d7. Now comes the final finesse after the piece is lost. Knight e2. A brilliant way to remove the defender but also keep the bishop pair. Black now loses a piece by force. Okay, so it is about keeping the bishop pair. That's the reason. But if we first take the knight, why can't we keep the bishop pair? Because we first take the knight, he plays here. I hate it because I know that I did this yesterday too, and now we have to check again with the engine. Let's go. Okay, so again, white to move, and we have the following. Let's see, white is up 1.12. So if we go with the bishop, it stays about the same. So 1.15, 1.12, everything is good. If we take the knight, it goes down to, let's keep it sinking, 0.38. So here the knight takes b3, rook takes c2, and now we have bishop b4 with the double attack on the knight and losing it. Bishop f4, well, not losing it yet, but we go here first. Knight d c5, knight d c5, c5, c5 is here. Okay, and then attacking the pawn. Knight c3, knight e6. Okay, lots of things to go for, nothing really threatening. So let's see again why the move here was so good. It's 1.15. And here it is bishop c5, protecting the knight. And what happens if instead of that move he now, as he done earlier, what did he play? Sorry, I need to check this again. Okay, here we played this one, and bishop c5 came in. Okay, now we got this one. Okay, and aren't we at the same position now? Okay, let's check again. Here we played this one first. And here he plays immediately to take this one. I'm just checking for myself here, guys. I'm sorry. So again. Again, now I get it. So if I first go with the knight. I make the way free for his knight to pin my knight. Is that also possible if we go with the other one? Here, if he now takes, we basically don't care. We take, and it doesn't matter if you go here. And that's the reason why he played this one first. That is staying here. Okay, we are going bishop c5 now, instead of b4 and taking. Okay, I think I finally got it. And if I can remember this tomorrow, then I'm really, really happy. Okay, so yeah, got this one. And we are done with the reviews, exit. And finally, we go to game number 12. I'm a little scared, as I said, about the new variations. And this will probably be done for the or be done in a session tomorrow. Usually we would have a rest day tomorrow because we're always one day behind, and the guys had a rest day today. So we are going to tackle these new variations that Andras put in tomorrow night. This should be fine. Okay, we click on learn, and we see that he really added did he really add this? I don't know. Look at this. We got all done. I don't know why it says 6 new positions on the games, but I don't know. Probably a mistake here in chess. So we just say game 11 was very well done. We took a look at the game, and now we're starting game number 12. Okay, next variation. Okay, so this is the called shout out to Taurakam. So finally we were able to just go to game number 12, and we'll see if you jump in a little later. Ah, you're there. That's so nice. Alrighty, so let's go. Would have brought about some wild complications. White now needs to play very energetically. What would you do? Game number 12. Okay, so it's white to play, and what's going on here? Let's check. He played knight d7 to d5, c5. Okay, and it's our turn now. What do we have? I'm always a fan of sacrificing the bishop on h6, but usually that leads to nothing, so we don't do that. So let's continue. What is here? I'm thinking about d4. Let's see d4. Why? It attacks the knight on c5. But what happens if he takes with the pawn? How many defenders do we have? 2. And we have 3 attackers. 4 attackers. So d4 looks kind of nice. If we play d4, he could play e4, attacking our knight. So we would have to move out of the way. And we only have one place to go, and that would be knight g1. Is that something that we want? I don't think so. Do we have something else? Hmm. Okay, I try my usual approach. So, if there is no tactic that I can see, it is always about what is my opponent's plan with that move. Okay, so we have three attackers on the d3 pawn now. And we have no way how to defend it. We could also win the pawn on e5. Yes, correct. So if we take the pawn and he retakes with his pawn, with his knight, then we just move to d4. Forking both knights. That would be a nice solution, actually. But again, we always have so many buts. That is, what happens if we fork him and then he goes with one of the knights to e4, attacking our queen. Our queen has to move out of the way. No, he cannot do that because our knight is gone and the bishop is taking that one. But he can still go out of the way with a queen attack, and that is knight c5 to b3. And there we can just keep on attacking it, this time with the queen to c3. So he cannot retreat with that knight. Can he retreat with the other knight? But not in a forcing way. So I think this is really a nice way to go. I think very well spotted, Tower Come. I think we just go with it. Let's see if that works. Incorrect. Oh, and it was your first solution. I'm sorry. Okay. First play, bishop takes c5. Yeah, but it didn't work anyway, so why this one? Okay, White's army is perfectly developed, which is a great cue for us to initiate a fight. Okay, so this one was the correct one. We'll check the other one with the engine later on and take a look at this. So he played d3. Our rook is attacked. Taking a look at chat again. Nope. Okay, so Okay, so what to do here now? Guys in chat, if you see something, please let us know and help. So, what comes to mind? We have several moves here to try out. The knight is attacking our rook, so maybe it's a good choice to just go away with it, like playing e2, for example. So if we do this, he has a free move. Okay. And where to go? I have to admit I don't see it, so I tend to, I mean, even if I just think really hard, this is a position where I probably need 15-20 minutes or so. How? Yeah, I would try to protect the rook and just move to e2. Would also go for e2, says Tawakam, so we just do it. Incorrect. It was too obvious, I think, and that's not what Andras is going for here. Okay, the idea needed to be seen before d4. White has to give up some material in order to fully exploit the initiative. Okay. He takes, and now, what are we doing? Oh boy. Now I think we take with the queen, so the d file is free for the rook. Yes. So basically he has to move a queen out of the way, and we still take the knight. So I think that is correct. Let's see if it works. Hey, we got one correct. Love it. Okay. So now we just take, and with which one to take? Because we need to get everything out of the way. We have a free pawn now. But if we take, it would be a bad thing because... No, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Yes, it would. We could defend, but not attack if the bishop goes to b4, attacking our queen. We could only react, protecting our queen or moving out of the way, but the knight on e5 would be gone. So, I mean, we have 4 attackers now on the knight, so it's just a matter of which one to take with. We take his knight, yes, we do. Tawakam, which one? There's a saying, always go forward, so I wouldn't take with the knight on b5. So it's the knight or the bishop, and I'd like to keep the bishop pair, and that's why I go with the knight. It also frees up the bishop here, so I think that's a good one. And bishop takes d4. You would take with the bishop. My idea would be to take with the knight because of the bishop that is being freed, and we keep the bishop pair. Let's see if that is correct. It's an alternative. Okay, so then I think we might really take with the knight on b5, attacking the bishop. So he takes, we take with the knight, and we again attack the bishop. Let's see if that works. Yes, good. So knight f takes d4 is also good. And then we would have this and that. And white is going to win a second pawn for the exchange while retaining space advantage and the initiative. Alrighty, because this one is attacked, he has to go away and the queen can snag the a5 pawn. Lovely, okay. So we just continue here. And again, if you're in chat and you'd like to join, please write your moves that you like to play into the chat. We'll see. So here we have again Gukesh white, a valid alternative, but here too white gains the upper hand. How? Okay. Last time we took with the knight from b5. So white to play. Isn't it the same idea if we take with the knight, he has to retake and we snag the pawn on a5. I would play the same thing, or do I overlook something? Nope. I think the idea is the same. Yes, tower come, I think the same. And we just give it a try. Let's go. So we take it with b5. And it's incorrect this time. Oh, look at that. Okay, so this time, as here this is not blocked. Yet another lovely reminder that recaptures are not compulsory. The d4 pawn is doomed. Yeah, the d4 pawn is gone anyway, and so it is a better idea to find another juicy target to pester. Yeah, we fell into the trap. We have a nice move, and we didn't look for a better move. That's the old idea behind it. Okay, so we go on next. We go here, and it was protected, and now I think we can take the knight on d4. How's that done? Which one to take? I would still go with the b5 knight. Let's see if that works. Incorrect this time, this one. Knight or queen? What do you think? You can attack the rook now with your knight. Yes, but if I do that, he would go c8, a8, attacking my knight. I go back, and then we have the attack on the pawn again, which can now be refuted by the c6 pawn, and I have to go out of the way. Yeah, so I don't think that that leads to something. I mean, it is okay, but not threatening really hard. And here, I think we take with that knight. What happens if we take with the queen? But again, we also don't have to take necessarily. We could also just take the pawn, because then again the d file is open for the rook. You need to take the knight first with the queen. Why? Because we would just lose the knight then. And knight is of course better than the rook, than the pawn. Okay, so you say with the queen. Yes, we go with the queen then. Still have the na5 idea in mind. Okay, we do this. Okay, let's go. It was correct. Super nice. With total domination, black simply has too many things hanging while the white army is ready to pounce. Okay. So we have two more left to go, and then we're good. After rook a1, you could go back to b5 and then fork on c7. I read that too late, I'm sorry. Can we go back? I think we can. Yes. So what do we do here? It's a nice repetition. We took the bishop, and here we took with the knight. From here, he took, and we took with the queen. Okay, and then you say, after rook a1, you could go back to b5 and then fork on c7. a8 you mean, okay. So after rook a8, we go here. Hold on. After rook a8, you go back to b5. Yes. And then fork on c7. It doesn't work. He still have the time to he still has the time to go back with the rook again to c8. So we cannot fork. Yes, it's a matter of move order. So okay. So we go back to the new one here. Sometimes even the best grandmasters miss basic things. What should have Ding played here? So, as this is a game that Ding won, yeah, and look at this, I think that Andras Toth did a mistake, and it was Ding with the white pieces in game 12, wasn't it? Let's see. So, sometimes even the best grandmasters miss basic things. What should have Ding played here? Okay, it's white to play. There's a pawn not hanging, but how can we get rid of a defender here? White to play. Let's take a look. Nope, nothing in chat. So chat again. Twitch, for example. What to play here? It's super tough for me. Sometimes even the best grandmasters miss basic things. What should have Ding played here? Okay. So the move that had been played was knight c6 to b7. So he retreated. And what is white now going to play? A basic thing. Isn't it here the taking of the rook now? Now it works with knight a7. Yes. Tower come, you said it twice. Knight a7, knight a7. Yes, 3 times knight a7. Yes, correct. Absolutely. So we are going to do that. And it's correct. Surprising way to win an exchange, free of charge. 26 d5 was played. Oh, he really missed that. Yes. Okay. So, final one for today before we go to the game recap, the video. Okay, so although many moves are winning here, Ding found the cleanest one. What was it? White to play. Interesting, and it is really wrong in the here under game 12. It is really wrong. It is not Gukesh with black. It is with white. It is Ding. Yes. So as it has not been changed, I think we should write Andras again. Yes. And I was not notified of our first. I know it, so I will not tell. Okay, so then I find it myself, hopefully. But again, I think we're going to write him so he will know that this is not the correct order of players. It's Ding with white and Gukesh with black. So, although many moves are winning here, Ding found the cleanest one. What was it? Okay. So, white to play. What happens if we give a check here? We check the king. And there's basically just the taking of the king. Of the rook. And then we could just again check with the queen. Check. And from there, nothing happens. But what happens if we take the rook? The king takes on g7, and this time we hit with the queen on f8. Check. He probably takes the bishop on f8. And then we have the lovely idea to queen. Yes. Check, check. And then it's probably soon over with my other queen coming in. So I guess that is the right move. And tower come. Was it correct? I'm curious, of course. Your first idea was right. My first idea? Bringing the queen in. Check. Ah, of course, then I have the double attack on the rook. Yes, 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 yes. I overlooked that again. True, so we just go and take. And it's all over, as after bishop takes f8, why will get a new queen? Ah, he takes the bishop, see? So we'll see with the engine, that's exciting. So it is black's turn now, we'll see. analysis board. And we have the following. It's mate in 7. It is king to g7. King takes g7. And now the idea is to take the rook. That was the second idea. And now it is king takes f8, and then we have the queen to d8 queen. So this is one way where it works. So we take the second idea, the takes again, and this time we bring in the queen. And here it's up all the way, but not a mate sequence for now. So we just see what happens now. So rook f7, protecting, yes. Then we have d8 the queen. He's forced to basically take the first queen. Then we take, and then king g8. Queen takes f6. King h7. Yeah, but then bishop e5. Okay, so both ways are winning, but the one with the taking of the rook is faster. All right. Okay. So Tarakam, that was again really, really nice to follow this with you. And we solved that. We have the game, and now I'm really curious, of course, to see what Ding really played, how the game went, and how Andras is giving us the what's it called? The game recap. But first I'd like to take a quick look at the comments here. We have 89 comments for this position. Ding Liren game, yes. And where are the comments? I don't see them. I clicked on the comments. 89, so it is not here. I don't care. We just start with
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our recap review videos. This time we are looking at round 12, and the drama and the tension is reaching its peak after round 11, where Gukesh scored a victory after a very, very uncharacteristic blunder, at least on World Championship level. In Game 12, we have seen a very unexpected resurrection of Ding's fighting chess, and tada, after Game 12, we are back on level terms again. But how exactly that game unfolded is what I'm about to present to you, so let's dive right into it. c4, e6, g3, d5 were the beginning moves, and here many suspected that this was going to transpose into a Catalan with knight f6, but Ding instead, excuse me, Gukesh, opted for the a d4 setup. He did play knight f6, but after knight f3, d4 was played rather than the stock standard bishop e7 or c5 Tarrasch ideas. So d4, and now again we are exploring the reverse territory. So this match has already seen reverse French, reverse London, reverse Blumenfeld gambit, and now it's a bit of a reverse Benoni structure. This move was popularized by Magnus Carlsen, but also there was a game for a very similar setup between Rapport and Ni Hua. Hello, the two seconds of Ding Liren. So obviously this was a very handy little piece of intel for Ding, that his 2 seconds played this structure already. And so we quickly arrived at this opening position, which I would label as ever so slightly better for white. Now, the key concept here that a lot of people on lower level tend to misunderstand is that the d3 pawn, whilst it's backward, is not really a realistic target. As a matter of fact, the very idea of pushing this pawn to d4 and dynamically exploding the center is the key factor in the evaluation that allows us to say that this is a slightly better position for white. So for example, if after castles, let's say rook e1, if I play bishop f5 and I go after this pawn on d3, then there are multiple ways to play this game. The most obvious one is d4. It's not best, but it's the most obvious one. And after takes, and let's say bishop takes, black can play c6, symmetrical pawn structure. Black should be fine here. Maybe white is slightly better. Plan B is a very, very cheeky knight d5. Now, this is where things get exciting, because if takes, and queen takes d5, then we see that there is a marvelous lineup on the diagonal, and knight d4 is going to attack an awful lot of things at the same time. The main issue is going to be the c6 pawn on the diagonal, queen c1, and now bishop takes c6 is a very, very obnoxious, annoying threat. Last but not least, I can also swing out to b3 from this position, and all of a sudden queen takes d3 borderline traps this queen, rook 8 d1, queen c2, and you can already see that this queen is not a happy camper here. Queen takes b7, hanging the knight and hanging the queen as well. White is already completely winning here, whereas bishop takes d3 causes similar issues here when white has rook 8 d1, creating an absolutely painful pin down here. So no matter which way we go, we will find ourselves in an awkward spot. So Gukesh, he started playing what I consider to be moves that on the surface they looked okay, and I always had a feeling as the game progressed that Gukesh was in the mentality of, yeah, I'm definitely slightly worse, but it's gonna be okay. And he always added a little bit more compromise, a bit more compromise, a bit more compromise of, I'm still okay. It's worse, but I'm gonna be okay. It's worse than what it was, but I still am gonna be okay. And I think at one point he lost control about how much this whole situation has escalated and how much he needed to really crawl back into. And I would say that rook b8 was definitely the first move that gave the fact away that the Indian challenger was not feeling the position. He was not, excited about playing this. Both bishop f5, rook e8, or even queen d7 appear to me to be much more normal, with bringing the rook to d8 and play once again a regular position. This would have somehow made me feel like holdable, right? Like it doesn't look like black is under too much pressure. In fact, after queen c8 now, we opened up the d file, c4 is hanging. After queen c1, I can play rook e8. It just feels like completely playable position. Obviously, white is going to call the shots, a bit more space, a few squares to jump around on. Yeah. But rook b8, I really don't know what this story was all about. And from here on out, things, went funky. Queen c2 was played. The engines preferred here rook c1. And indeed, the one and only way here after queen c2 where Gukesh should have stayed in this game was maybe knight d4, proposing some trades. And after bishop takes, pawn takes, knight b5 to play pawn c5. Now, because of the monster b5 knight and the potential e5 play, this position again is definitely preferable for white, no questions, but perhaps holdable. Perhaps holdable. What Gukesh did here was he played rook e8, and after knight b5, now I think for the first time we realize that the very annoying rook d1, d4 push is going to be a nightmare to hold. Bishop f5, rook d1, knight d7, trying to relocate to c5, but I think he too, Gukesh, must have slipped in his calculations, because after queen d2, he did not continue the maneuver knight c5, but instead dropped the bishop back to g6. Now, he must have realized here that white had a beautiful positional sacrifice here with d4, knight d3, and d5 double exclam. An absolutely marvelous idea. The concept is that after knight e1, queen e1, the knight is almost trapped. On c6, it has to jump into d4. It doesn't matter which way I take. The bishop is on, and the pawn is on. And since I have already captured the pawn for the exchange, when the bishop goes back and I take a5, white is going to have 2 pawns for the sacrificed exchange, dominant center, rolling pawns. This is looking really, really, really difficult for black to play. But maybe even this would have been a better choice than what went down in the game. Maybe bishop g5 is playable here, and after bishop takes h takes, with the 2 bishops eliminated and the g2 bishop shooting in the back of this, yeah, maybe there was a slim chance to hold this for black. But Gukesh played again a compromising kind of move with bishop g6, not playing knight c5. And now after d4, that knight was never going to come to c5 again. And unfortunately for Gukesh here, the problem is that these 2 pawns cover so many important squares in the center. Adding to that, the knight on b5 is super annoyingly hitting c7. And white has a myriad of very handy moves to play for. So even the potential in the position to further develop, improve, and pose new threats to black is immense. Knight b6, queen c3, bishop f6, and Ding very cleverly danced around out of all the pins and attacks on the pawns. Instead of bishop f6, f5 was, for example, Anish Giri's comment, but even here after f3, this position is just very, very unpleasant. But with the bishop on f6, it just feels like Gukesh has 4 minor pieces and not one of them has a proper function. You could say that c6 and f6 are beautifully attacking d4, but it's completely moot because it's cancelled out by the many white pieces. Add to that knight e2. And so this is not realistic pressure. In fact, this is not pressure at all. It's a pseudo pressure, and in fact, it's something that is tempting white even more to start rolling those pawns forward at the right time. So a4 played, knight e2. Now the knight is re-entering the fray. Gukesh would like to say no. Ding would like to say yes. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, this is now looking really, really, really unpleasant. By the way, there was another beautiful motif here that I forgot to show you. If instead of e4, e takes d trades, then the best move for white here is the awesome intermezzo bishop f4, not recapturing on d4. And only after rook c8 do we take d4 with the f knight. And when takes do we take with the queen. And now bishop b7 is on. The d7 knight is hanging. Like everything is just under attack. The position is absolutely terrible here for black, excuse me. And if you look at it from a like for like perspective, like you compare the like for like pieces, rooks versus rooks, queen, queen, knight, knight, you realize that every single comparison is in white's favor. Every one of them. Like white does not have a single piece that wouldn't outclass its black counterpart. Fascinating stuff. So, take wasn't played, e4 was, and so we arrived at this scenario where Ding rerouted his knight to f4, and at this point, I think we can talk about a strategic defeat already. For black, the white pawns still where they are, but just about to get rolling. e4 has become far weaker than what it was. c7 is very awkwardly hanging. White has got the 2 bishops. It's all happy days. e3, of course, was playable here, but after queen c3, ef2, and then let's say rook f1, white is going to regain the pawn without any dramas whatsoever. Of course, rook e2 is on the cards, but I can just kick it with queen f3 or even d5. Actually looks like a super annoying move here, and the knight has nowhere to go. c7 is, yeah, no, let's not do this. It's just no bueno. So yeah, rook c8 was played, but now after queen c3, yet another queen move to dodge the constant threats on the diagonals. It is truly over. d5 is incoming, d6 is incoming, and it's just done dusted. Now here comes the funniest part of the game. Ding has completely overlooked the fact that knight a7 he would have picked off the rook on c8, or at least that's what he said in the press conference, and I have no reason to doubt what he was saying. Having said that, I almost prefer the way he played, because there is a really cool theme running through this game, and for that I'm going to speed up a little bit to demonstrate this point. For the rest, I mean, black is completely beyond saving here, right? Like, all of their pieces are just terribly placed. Down a pawn, soon to be down 2 pawns after knight d5 takes queen c5. I mean, this would have been as good a time as any to resign, but no, instead Gukesh played it out almost all the way to mate. Bishop d6, f6, and he resigned after rook takes g7. And the reason for resignation was, of course, because after king takes, bishop takes, king takes, a new queen emerges. Now, that is the point when I would like to show you something. This pawn here, that is about to become a queen, was Ding's backward d3 pawn 15 moves ago, or 20. Check this out. So we are about here. So you see the d3 pawn, and let's see its journey. d4, many moves later, d5, d6, d7, and tada, the glory, d8 queen. And the pawn that was looking like the only problem with with white's position in Ding's camp is taking all the glory and winning the game. Now, the reason why I couldn't really offer you much more meaningful insight than what I have done is because of this game had the nature that Magnus Carlsen described as a grandmaster playing against a club player. And I don't mean to Gukesh by this. I really don't mean to present this game to you like one where Gukesh played absolutely miserable chess. I think the issue once again was mindset issues, and that was that he trusted himself that in a clearly inferior position he would still be able to hold a draw by just playing decent moves, and he didn't realize that there was a trend in the game, and that trend was a downward one for him. And by now, it was really a difficult position to hold. And Ding's position just played itself. Beautiful development, lovely piece, mobility. It just rolls off the fingers, no matter what the time control either, by the way. And so, yeah, Gukesh just kept on playing suboptimal moves in the belief that because of the position, you know, was materially even, and it looked kind of even, he would be able to hold. Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the case for him. So we are now back on level terms, 6-6. 2 games to go. Today was the rest day. Yeah, it is going to be a heck of a finish for the World Championship match, and I can't wait to bring those 2 games to you as well. So be sure that you guys stay tuned, and I am going to be back with game 13 very soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Andras. And it was really nice of you, of course, to explain it, also to see the positions here. Then, with this, I think we can conclude the session for today. As again, today was a rest day. We have a rest day tomorrow. I don't think that there were the variations given that we saw first. I'm going to write Andras a short message that in game 12, it was Ding playing white and not Gukesh, as it's been given here under game 12. And with that, Tower Come, of course, thank you again for staying with me here again and giving your ideas and thoughts. Really helpful. And good luck with your annotation. And wishing everyone a super good night. Then I had a request to share my ID here on Discord. We'll do this in a moment. And yes, have a very good night, everybody, and see you later. Bye-bye. First, we have to rate someone on Twitch. Forgot that almost. Okay, following, and St. Louis Chess Club is always nice. Start the rate. Mm-hmm. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Bye-bye.